Hello, CHSS. How are we doing today, class? Today we're taking a look at 5.3a, comparing polynomials. Most of this lesson will be using a graphing calculator today, and I'll show you where to find one on my website and how to use it. And what we're going to do is we're going to complete this investigation, so you need to print off the 4 pages if I have not already given them to you. And please make note that Parts 1 and 2 you'll do as part of the lesson, so during the lesson time, and then part 3 and 4 will be your homework. Okay, so have fun with this. Okay, so here's your instructions. It says look at each equation and state the value of the leading coefficient. Fill in the information in the column specified below. The first one is done for you. So what we would do, folks, is take this equation, we would plug it into our graphing calculator. Online, it's going to look a little different. We're going to go y equals x with a hat button and then 3. And if we graph that, you will notice that the graph looks like this. Please make note that there should be arrows on both ends. Okay? And what we notice is that there is one intercept. If I color code that differently, one intercept, it is right there. Okay, and you will notice that as x approaches infinity, which is this one, okay, as we're going, my apologies, let me fix that one. So if I look at my first limits here, or my end behavior, as x approaches infinity, so as x goes this way, what's happening to y? It's also approaching infinity. Likewise, when I look at the end behavior in the other direction, so as x approaches negative infinity, what's happening to y? It's also approaching negative infinity. And those behaviors from the graph can help you decide a conclusion that you'll figure out on the back side, and I'm not going to give the answers to you. I want you to discover this. All right, let's do the next one together, and I'll show you where on my website to find this information. But before we flip to the graphing calculator, I want to show you what this would look like when you enter it in. So I believe you're going to go under y1, and you're going to make it look like x hat 3, subtract 2, and then you got to go times, which would be your asterisk, x hat 2. I just wanted you to write that down. I'll just make it look a little tighter in here. Look a little clearer actually when we go to the graphing calculator. So x hat 3 minus 2 times x hat 2. Okay, we can answer this one right away, the leading coefficient. So if you look right in front of what's in front of the lead there, and that's 1. Okay, so let's go figure out where we're going to find the graphing calculator. So we go to my website, ladies and gentlemen. Just give me a second and I'll scroll down to show you where to find it. Okay, so if I go to my home page, okay, so on the home page, guys, you're going to look for useful math tools. So click useful math tools. Up comes a regular calculator. Okay, but press this arrow button down and hit graphing calculator. Notice here we've got a graphing calculator which can do a number of things. So I'm going to clear the rest of these equations out. And I'm just going to clear them out so there's no interference from other equations bugging us. And I'm going to graph one of these at a time. So I'm going to click the first box and I'm going to enter that equation in. So we got x cubed, so we're going to go x, shift to 6 to get your hat, and then go 3. Okay, subtract is right beside between the equal sign and the 0, so subtract. And then we've got 2 times, which is shift and 8. Okay, and then we want to do x hat, which is shift 6, 2. So that shows us x cubed subtract 2x squared. Okay, and if we hit enter, okay, and clear this off, okay, here's our expression, so or our graph. Okay, so take a look at the end behaviors, and I'm just going to flip back to my lesson, and you're going to draw this in your lesson, but I cheated a little bit and I already copied and pasted it, so I'm going to take this, put this right in here, ladies and gentlemen. And to answer the rest of the questions, number of intercepts, well, hey, I've got x-intercept 1 here and 1 there, so I've got 2 x-intercepts. And then let's take a look at our behavior. So as x approaches infinity, what's happening? So as x goes this way, what's happening to y? Y is also approaching infinity. Okay, if I take a look at my other end behavior, which is this way, so as x approaches negative infinity, what's happening to y? Y is also approaching negative infinity. All right, so I will leave you for the rest of your lesson. You're doing this page, which is part 1. I'll answer the questions on the back based on that for your lesson, and part 2 for the lesson. Okay, and the back of page two, part 2. Then for page 3, this is your homework. Okay, so finish all of these, which I will put down as homework. And you'll develop a pattern. It'll get easier as you get going. Okay? And just to give you a helpful hint, guys, if we go back to our first page, here we go. If we go back to our first page, we look at the next equation. It's 2 x cubed minus 3. If I go back to my, if I want to write that out, what it's going to look like, it's going to be y1 equals 2 times x hat 3 and then minus 3. So if I go back to my graphing calculator, I can type right in on top of these. So I can add it in, so I can go 2, hopefully I can, usually I can do that, 2 and then times, so there's your, so you can just add or subtract to what you need to do here. So I've got 2 times x cubed, subtract, you can change that, and put 3. Okay, so if I hit enter, take a look at that one. Okay, and how about I show you how I do this? So I'll just go back to my website, get my camera, go back to the lesson, and I'm going to copy that graph. And hopefully it'll go chick. There we go. Tells me it's taken its picture. Just going to minimize it. And I can bring it in here. Okay, guys, so that's what you're going to be doing, is drawing them. If you want to cut and paste, if you're doing this digitally like I am, for all means, go ahead. So let's just finish this off. What is our lead coefficient? Well, in this case, the lead coefficient is 2. Okay, number of intercepts in this case is just 1. And as x approaches infinity, what's happening? Y approaches infinity. That's as I go here, it's going this way. And if I take a look at the other direction, as x approaches negative infinity, what's happening to y? Y is also approaching negative infinity. It's going down. All right? And put arrows on these, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure all your graphs have arrows on them. On your graphs. All right, folks, I'm leaving the rest of the lesson for you to finish, and a self-discovery to answer the back pages, and I will post the solutions on my website later on. Okay, have a fabulous day, folks, and hopefully the technology works for you. Come and see me by all means if you need any help, and have a fabulous, fabulous day.